Welcome back to the next session of CSS. Till last session of CSS, we have learned about how do we write CSS, what are the syntax and styles that are available in CSS, what are the benefits of having CSS, and so on. Now, in this particular session, let us learn how to connect CSS with HTML. There are three different ways by which CSS cascading style sheets can be placed with HTML document. The very first one goes saying inline CSS. This uses the syntax 2 that we learned in the past class. That means within the tag starting area, you will be writing attribute called style. The value part of it would be the property : value. Then the second style goes saying with the help of internal. So within the head section, you write all styles of CSS using a tag, paid tag, which is called as style. Third way of inserting CSS within HTML is done externally using external style sheets. So all the styles that are needed will be placed inside another file with an extension of .css, and it would be linked to .html with a head section with the help of a tag called link tag. So to conclude, CSS can be placed in HTML in three different ways: inline within the tag, internal within the same HTML in the head section, external outside HTML with the file extension of .css, connecting .html and .css with the help of link tag written inside head section. The best way of doing work depends on the type of activity that you are involved in. If many of the tags do use same type of styles, then placing externally or internally would be advantageous. Wherein if a particular single unique tag has to be applied with CSS, writing it with the help of inline would be beneficial. So to learn, let's go ahead and study about how CSS can be included inline initially. So this is an example which helps you to understand how inline CSS can be used. So within my HTML document, if you check, there's a tag called as P in which attribute style is provided with property : values. So I am using two things part of your CSS, trying to apply it on this particular paragraph taking help of P. So this style of write-up is called as inline style. Further going ahead, the second style, which is internal style, as I said, we need to write all the styles within the head section. Writing it within a tag called as style tag. So here inside this particular style tag, if you keenly observe, there's a tag with h1 whose styles are being added with three property : value areas. So if you keenly study this particular style tag, you will get to know that syntax used in internal style is syntax 1 of your CSS, which we studied in the last session. So within the body section, wherever you find the tag h1, those tags h1 plain text will be applied with the styles which are written inside your h1 tag. Carefully observe this particular example and have a glance at it one more time. Now, along with h1 tag inside body, you observe that there are two more tags, h2 and p. Imagine the same style that was given for h1 need to be applied even for h2 tag. Think what should be done for applying the styles of h1 tag to the content of h2 tag, which is welcome here. So what I need to do? I need to repeat this entire part of your h1 tag, curved brackets till the flower bracket closing. This entire part should be rewritten here, but in place of h1, I need to take h2. Similarly, same style if I would like to apply for the p, same again with the same entire content, replacing your h1 with p should be written after your h1. So the styles remain the same, but they are getting applied to different tags. So styles are getting redundantly repeated twice if I do it for h2 and P. So is there any means by which we can stop this redundancy and try to use write up only once and use it thrice? Is there any way of doing it? Have a study, have a thought on that particular area. Similar to this, we need to even find an answer to another question which says this H1 plain text hi, this H1 plain text hello. Because of this write-up, these three are the styles which are applied to this text as well as this one. Imagine I wanted this H1 tag hi content should have a different style when compared with hello content of this H1 tag. So same tags with different styles is the one that I'm talking about. Earlier to this, I was talking about different tags with same styles. So for any one of these two type of situations, the only solution would be have a class in place of tag, where inside the style tag, prepare your style tag with the help of a class in place of this particular tag name, which is H1. So when I write like this, what exactly am I doing? These three styles are being attached with the tag name called H1. In place of this, if I write a class, which is nothing but a simple variable, these three styles will be attached to that particular variable. So when there's a variable with some content, wherever you want that content, that variable can be used. That is a concept that is behind the methodology of using or replacing the tag name inside style with the help of a class. So the same example is replaced. Now, in place of H1 tag, we have written a class, which is similar to a variable for us. Do remember, the class variable must start or begin with a dot in the front. So dot ABC is a class for me, having the three styles which were there earlier. Now, wherever I want this ABC to that particular tag, I will be adding an attribute called class. Class is equal to ABC. This plain text hi of H1 tag will have these three as styles to it. Similarly, this H2 tag is also added with the class attribute, with ABC being the class value of it. Then welcome also will have same type of styles. So two different tags with same type of styles. Similarly, two same tags can also be done in the same manner like we have done in this particular example. Let's go further and study the third type of connection of CSS with HTML with the help of external style sheets. As I said, external style sheets are those areas wherein the styles are being written inside a separate file named with an extension of .css, and within the .html you will connect that CSS file within the head section using a tag called link. The style of writing of link tag inside head section contains three attributes inside. One is rel. Rel says relative to style sheet will be the value. Href, the location of your .css file, and the type of the content which is there in the CSS, which is you have written a text and it all speaks about cascading style sheets. So the value of the type will be text/CSS. So this tag is what we need to write within our HTML, placing all the CSS content inside .css file, which is connected as a value given to href attribute. Now there's one style.css file written by me, in which I would like to have the body tag with these three types of style properties, and hyperlink tag A must have this style. Similarly, H1 must have this style. So these styles are being placed by me inside an external file called style.css. Now the job would be this style.css must be connected to my HTML. So abc.html is the page in which within the head I am writing link tag, connecting with the help of href to style.css, and the normal body content will flow in this manner. So when I browse this particular page, whatever is there inside style.css file gets applied over the appropriate tags which are written inside the properties. So those property values will be applied. So whatever style we apply for the body gets applied entirely on this content of the body. Whatever we have given for A gets applied on this particular click. Style of H1 will be applied on hello, which is the plain text. This is where we finish our HTML, all tags along with CSS. So in the next session, let's start with our JavaScripting, which is the second half of your first unit. Thank you.